Welcome everyone, this is Dan here from Technology. Today I'm going to bring you an iOS 11.3 Beta 1 follow-up. So I got this installed on the iPhone 7 last Wednesday when it got released, so 8 days ago. And although this hasn't been my daily OS or anything, I did say I'd be using the iPhone 7 for beta testing. If any of you people remember that in the update video I did just after Christmas. So although this hasn't been my daily, which is obviously the 8 Plus running 11.2.5, this software has annoyed me. So, this is kind of,
1904. 5 notifications.
it's going to be different for whichever videos you watch, but for me, it's been a really annoying update, and I mean, I've had some slowdown when opening up apps, I've had some general glitches, and stuff like that. I've also got this issue with the battery percentage where it will only show me every 5%. So like for example, now if I go to here, what's my battery?
Your iPhone is at 5%. May the charge be with you.
Okay, so that's may the charge be with you. I didn't know that. Anyway, that's probably because it's genuinely at 5% at the minute, but for example, VoiceOver will stay on 5% now. So this iPhone will go up to 6%, 7%, stuff like that. And this iPhone, VoiceOver is going to stay at 5%. So let's check if the iPhone's gone up. How much battery do I have?
Your iPhone is at 6%.
Okay, so your iPhone is at 6%. But turning on VoiceOver will reveal a totally different truth. So
5% battery power.
you can hear 5%. So the next thing I noticed, although this is not a total changes video on that, I'm going to do, like, when the GM comes out, or we're getting close to the GM, I'll do a full review and tell you everything new in the update, and if you should update and if you shouldn't update and why. But another thing that I did notice, which I kind of like more, I mean, because obviously it's a follow-up video, so why not talk about what I like? I kind of like this. I mean, they've got some new voiceover sound, and it sounds actually decent. So if I do this, you can hear that the volume is going up. And generally, running the OS is just sort of not been the best. And I mean, I'm going to open up Geekbench here. And I can see it's kind of hesitating. There we go. I don't know if it hesitated or if that was something to do with this, just the fact that it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So we'll run a CPU benchmark. I'm going to just talk to you about why you should update to this OS though. Because I mean, I like the messages in iCloud. I actually think that's a pretty neat feature, and it works well. Messages in iCloud and that. I've got the iOS on the iPad as well. I mean, I had to have it on 2 devices because for the simple reason that I wanted to test messages in iCloud. So it's also on the iPad as well, and it works. It works pretty well. And to be honest, when I first updated, I mean, it felt faster, and in most ways it's kind of stable, but there's a lot of ways where it needs to be improved, and it felt faster when I updated. But just like if we take an example of this, I opened up the settings app earlier just before I started making this, and it literally just hesitated. It opened, the animation hung there though, and then after it hung, it just opened up the app, and it was just like, why is it doing this to me? I mean, it literally just I don't quite know what's going on with it, if I'm totally honest. It's like slow, hesitant, sort of speedy, glitchy thing, where I've only seen it a couple times, but it's just, you know, it could impact the experience of the iPhone quite easily, if that's something that you sort of take notice of. And I mean, normally if my iPhone sort of hesitates a bit, okay, maybe if it does it once. I've seen it a few times already, which is becoming a problem. And I mean, with like, for example, with the 8 Plus, I don't actually look for hesitation issues. I mean, this phone I'm actually obviously using for software testing, the iPhone 7, so I will look more for software issues and stuff like that. With the 8 Plus, I don't need to do that because it should, in theory, be stable, because just the basic fact that it's public software. You can see here that the iPhone 7 is actually completing the benchmark, but the battery life on the iPhone 7 as well, that's been draining really quickly. the iPhone's been getting hot as well, which is kind of bad. I mean, it never used to get this hot. We can see 10% battery power now, so it's only showing me every 5%. But yeah, it has been getting quite hot, which is not good. It's quite hot now, to be honest, which maybe is understandable. It's running a benchmark, we'll see. But I've got benchmarks on 11.2.x, so we will run a comparison and just see how this device gets on. Its battery health is around 85%, so theoretically it shouldn't be being throttled for another bit. Although it's heading for what they call bad health, which is 80% or below 80%, I think. So it's heading for bad health, but it's not there yet. So we'll just check out the scores here. I have a single core of 3,428. So I'm loving the way that the iPhone 8 Plus is the fastest, actually. I mean, it comes up at the top. So the multi-core comes in at 5,536. The single core at 3,428. So if we run if we read another one that I've got. So I've got one from the 29th of December. I've got a slightly higher score, but a lower multi-core. And we can just see if this phone really has slowed down that much by going to 4th of October. We've got one 3,487, 5,948 on the multi-core. So it looks like it may have slowed down a little bit with updates, but altogether, really, if you're not a voiceover user and you have like a Plus iPhone, then update. If you have one of these smaller iPhones, like the 7 or something, I actually would stay away from this, just because from my experience, the experience on the battery on the iPhone 7 has been pretty bad. I have submitted a feedback report to Apple about the 5% with voiceover thing as well. So maybe if it's better in Beta 2, I actually like this update. So if it's better, we may test it on the 8 Plus. I mean, I'd be mad, and I might not do it. I will consider it, but I'm not planning to do it, but we'll see. And I'm going to be making these follow-up videos as well for the beta versions of iOS, because I will be running every beta version of iOS, because that's how I work. With iOS 12 as well, some news has happened on that, and I'll be doing that in the Apple news video on next week on Monday. But yeah, altogether iOS 11.3, don't update if you're a voiceover user and you want to know your exact battery percentage. Don't update if you've got one of the smaller iPhones. I mean, that could be to do with my battery health, but I doubt it. We should be getting the update this month that shows you the battery health anyway, so we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, stay away till Beta 2, and then I will test it and let you know if that stupid issue is fixed. Hopefully it is. So until the next one, I will see you later.